So this is day one on the trailer. I still have yet to remove the winch, but I replaced both of these 2x2. I ordered 30 feet of 2x2 3/16 wall because that's what most of the trailer is built out of anyhow. These were angle iron and very thin, thinner than 1/8 inch. It was some thin stuff. And I didn't like it, and I'm making the trailer a little longer, and I just wanted something a little more structurally sound than some really thin angle iron. So again, I replaced both of these, and they're about 5 foot length. Here's a look at the side. I've got everything stripped down. All the old pieces are sitting there beside my garage. Here's where I extended it an extra 3 feet from here on back, and then I added that tail. That'll be my transom support, and hopefully you can see the slight V in it. Hopefully. That tire's kind of ruining it. Anyhow, so this is about 6 hours in. It's incredibly windy, and I'm having to do all my weld work outside, and I'm using a wire feed, a MIG, so I'm having to weld in between the gusts of wind. So this little white mark here is where the next section is going to go across. So that'll support the transom. This one is right under frame 2. It'll support frame 2. And the outside bunks will end, shortly past frame 2 here. The center 2 bunks will continue, and they'll have support somewhere up here around frame 4. But we're making good progress. I'm anticipating being able to finish the trailer, at least all the fab work, and have the bunks temporarily mounted tomorrow. Making good progress. Well, day 2 on the trailer. We put in 5.5 hours today, and it's slowly getting put back together. You can see the second V in here. This one is right underneath frame 2, and it is a 6-degree angle. The transom is a 5-degree angle, so it is slightly different. But I built all these little standoffs to raise everything up and keep the boat above the fender wells. So that's what I did today. It's turning out pretty dang good. I threw the fenders and wheels back on it so I can roll it around. So here's a look at it from the center. And it looks like to me that I'm going to have to move the wheels back about 2 feet. Extending the rear of the trailer gave it a funny teeter point now with the wheels where they are, so I think it'll be pretty easy to move them back. I'll just cut the mounts and slide it back about 2 feet, and it should be good to go. Still have yet to paint it. I'm going to do a couple coats of epoxy encapsulation on the runners, on the bunks, and then I'll put some bunk carpet on it. So we still got a little bit of work to do, but 95% of the fab work's done. Get that axle moved, and should be good to go. I also have to put some lights on it and rewire it, and I don't think I'm going to use the old lights that were on it. I think I'm going to go get some like 6-inch LED ovals or something. So that's where we are. I'm making good progress. Alright, so here's a look at the trailer today. And what I've done, if you didn't notice, is I have moved the axle 3 feet back. Basically the distance that I extended this, I just moved the axle back. So I had to purchase a pair of hangers. And basically I just measured it off of the old existing. You can see here's the front hanger, and here's the rear hanger where it used to be. And I just moved the whole thing exactly 3 feet back. So now it doesn't look so goofy. Now it looks like an actual trailer, boat trailer. And that's just going to, distribute weight a lot better than having the wheels where they were and just extending the rear end. So it took a little time, about 2 hours to move this. But, it's just the right way to do it. I also, hopefully you can see them, I welded my D-rings on the rear of the trailer. So that's where I'll tie my boat down to. And you know, for the new spring hangers and the D-ring, the weld-on D-rings, I think it was like $24 or something. But well worth doing. Trailer's coming right along, so I need to get these bunks off, get them encapsulated in epoxy. I need to remove the old spring hangers. Paint the trailer real quick with some brush-on, roll-on black. And after the epoxy cures on my bunks, then I'll carpet those, and should be pretty dang good to go. I still have yet to remove this this winch stop, but I will. And after the trailer's ready, we'll get the zip flip set on it, positioned right, and then we'll slide that guy up to match. Weld it back down. Making good progress. Not too shabby. Alright, well, we got our first epoxy encapsulation coats on the 2x4s, and really the only reason I'm doing this is I didn't want the 2x4s to absorb water and then trap that water against the hull, you know, after I pull the boat out. I didn't want the 2x4s to soak up that water and then hold it against the hull, you know, for fear of mildew or mold or things like that. So I figured I'd epoxy encapsulate the 2x4s just so that can't happen, or much less. And then today, the boys and I got the trailer painted. And I don't think there's a single part of our body or article of clothing that is not covered in paint. Making good progress. Get the wheels and tires back on, get the bunks another coat or two of epoxy and carpeted and on, and shy of wiring, lights, trailer will be done, ready for the zip flip. I also removed those hangers that I was talking about. There used to be one right here and one right here where the leaf springs used to be, so I got those cut off today. And oh, there's something stuck in the paint here. Anyhow, I also got the ends of these tubes plugged. I cut a little 1/4 inch cap, recessed it in there, welded them, and then flap wheeled everything down nice and clean. But not too shabby. I think we got about $30 in this paint job. Alright, as you can see, we now have our bunks carpeted. After the first coat of epoxy on the bunks, I sanded them down to take all of the bumps out of them and put one more coat of epoxy on them, so they have 2 complete encapsulation coats. And then I let them cure up and covered them in bunk carpet. Turned out really nice. Looks good. Nice and clean. So I'll get these put on the trailer. Originally I had bought these Stanley 3/8 staples for my staple gun. And these were $2.95 or something like that for 1,500. Well, before I got started, after watching a few videos, I realized that they made stainless staples. And I thought, ooh, that's better yet. They'll never rot out, so I'll get those. So instead of using these, I went and bought these. And I thought they were, you know, I asked for stainless over the phone, and the lady told me, well, we don't have stainless, we have something called Glen-L. I've never heard of that before, but they say right on them Glen-L and rust proof. So I thought, well, hey, that's kind of like stainless. It won't rust. It's got to do better than these. So I ran downtown and I picked these up, and I got to the register, and she rang them up, and I thought it was an accident. I thought something went terribly wrong, that there's no way that those staples could cost that much. So these are 1,000 staples, as you can see, 500 less. These were $2.95. These were $29.95. 10 times the cost of the Stanleys, and 33% less staples. So what a great deal that was. But again, I'm glad I did it. You know, I think it was worth the money. At least the staples will never rot out. You know, the carpet will go bad before the staples rot out. So anyhow, that's where we are. As you can see, I have now taken my painter shanty down, and the boat is covered in dust. I took even the ones that used to hang up above here. I took that down so that I can open my garage door. I'm getting ready to do the flip tomorrow. So anyhow, when I took those down, I knocked all kinds of dust and spider webs and things all over the hull. So you can see all of the dust down it. But again, paint job looks great. We are ready for the flip. I need somebody on the backside to catch. 2 or 3 guys. Okay. Now we're going to pick it up and just kind of set it in the middle, if we can. There it is. Well, there that is.
Woohoo! Oh, hey!
So, all we got to do, and this should provide a pretty good hand grip. It's inch and a quarter. We're just going to pick it and walk it right up to the trailer. The end of the transom, the face of it should be flush with these posts right here. So there'll be about an inch of this exposed. Roughly. Unless my math was wrong. Ready? Okay. Everybody okay?
Yes, sir.
Come on in. We got to go your way about 4 inches. Oh, too far. Back. Right in there. And Transom's got to go like to the right, but that's pretty big above. I think that's about it. You want to tilt forward though?
Trying to get a little more room.
So I got to put one support in here somewhere. Well, there it is. It's flipped.
Alright. You got a gang.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Josh, am I done?
You're done. Thank you. All right. We're officially flipped. We're on the trailer. Waterline looks awesome. It's a good fit to the trailer. I think we did pretty well on our bunks and all the measurements. As you can see here now, this jagged edge, all of that uglies really doesn't matter because the shear line, you can see this is our shear, so this will all get fared down to match. It'll be 100% even all the way down. But the lines look good. So now I need to get all of this fared off to match, at least flat for now. I'll worry about beveling it all to match the frames, as the weeks progress. I need to remove the setup mold now, so these 2 stringers can come out, longitudinals. Those come out, the legs come out, this 2x6 down the center comes out. So here's a look at it up in the bow. I mean, things just are fitting fantastic, and now that it's flipped over, you can get a pretty good look at how everything fits. It just looks really good. Here's this leg. It's turning out really nice. So this is again frame 2. What you're looking at right here is frame 4. This is the dash. Steering wheel will be here. This whole thing will be covered in deck, and then there'll be cutouts for a front cockpit. And this is the dash, so it'll be cut out here for a rear cockpit with bench seats, front and back. So here's a look at the rear of the boat, the transom. Just a fantastic fit. Everything looks great. So we'll step back, and hopefully now you can see how the transom wraps around. We'll come look at the front. There it is. Of course, it's dusty, but beautiful. Our water line looks great. I mean, just everything's turning out fantastic. Look at that water line. Beautiful. So making great progress. We're officially flipped. It's now a boat. Alright, well, it's officially July 1st. For the month of June, we went up 22.5 hours, and almost all of that was on the trailer. 20.25 hours was into the trailer for paint work, for modifying fab work, the bunk encapsulation, carpet. Anyhow, long story short, we went up 22.5 hours for the month of June. Almost all of that, 20.25, was in the trailer. The remaining was flipping the boat, removing the setup mold from the inside of it, and a little bit of fairing on the shears. So we went up $315 this month, and that was in steel for the trailer, bunk material, paint, and some miscellaneous other little things here and there, a sanding disc, wire for my wire feed welder. So we went up $315 this month. That puts us at $2,607.34 total invested, and total hours into the boat of 231.5. So let's see where we are. So here's where we are. We pulled the 2 longitudinals out. This is the main center board. You might be able to see my line marking the center of the board of my setup mold and all the miscellaneous little pieces and legs lying all over the ground. Came out. I was able to get them out all in one piece. I really didn't have to whack it all apart. The one thing I did do was cut my 2x6 cross braces that ran between the 2 stringers. I cut those in half just to separate the 2 stringers. But then everything was able to slide out through the frames. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. So now it looks a little bit better. It took me about an hour to pull those out, and about an hour to pull them out, and then I started fairing this side over here. You can see there's still a lip right here, but we are pretty well flush from about this point up to about here. So I'll kind of give you an eye, a look at the boat. And I still have to finish again. I still have to fair all of this down, and I'm going to fair it flush to start with, and then I'll start beveling it to match the frames, just like I did on the chine and shears. You can see the overlap up here. All that gets faired down flush. But it's looking fantastic. So these are my screws that are poking out. For my backer block, this is where the ply joint is all the way across. Right there, you can see it. So I'll have to grind the heads off of all of these. Now, all of this will be underneath floorboards. I'm going to build some mahogany floorboards for in here that'll cover all of this. And this top of the frame will be basically the height of the floorboard. It'll be flush mounted back to there, and then from there back behind that as well. So I'll have to add some supports in here wherever my seat's going to end up. And I'll have to do the same back here, probably a center support where everybody's going to be stepping to get in. And I'll do that up here as well. But we're making fantastic progress. So really none of this stuff, it's unfortunate because it really turned out nice. The keel and the, that kind of stuff. The battens and keel, it just turned out super clean. It's unfortunate nobody's ever going to see it. But anyhow, so here's a look back at the transom. Here's my transom knee, and I'm going to have to probably knock a little bit off of that bolt. But they turned out just about right. Looks really nice. So making fantastic progress. So thank you for watching. Please rate and comment. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I do my best to upload a video on the first of every month showing you the progress of the Zip. I'm very, very proud. It's turning out very nice. And we'll catch you on the next update of building the Zip. Have a happy and safe 4th of July.